Hi everybody. Just took my YouTube picture for the video. Thumbnail. I just took the thumbnail photo. It's been a minute since I made a video, clearly. I am here today because I am catching up on the book roasts, adventure, readathons, Aurelium, something like that, because I wanted to participate the last few times she's done month-long readathons and I just wasn't able to do it. I'll link all of her plays for these videos below. And she's now doing a choose your own adventure where it's like one book a month and it's called the Adventure in Aeldia. I'm not gonna pretend I can pronounce that correctly, but what I did was I went back through all of she's had a few September and April readathons, I believe. And I went back and cross-referenced that with my Goodreads from those dates and am going to run you all through what I did in each of the readathons. I don't know if you were supposed to pick like a kind of magic you wanted to go to or a person, because again, I'm coming at this like a year and a half, 2 years late. But I went ahead and decided I wanted to be, sorry, one second. I wrote this like a few weeks ago. Anyways, I decided I wanted to be the people that lived, like that did the earth magic, which I believe was the earthlings, dwarf energy folk. And then I wanted to be from like the urban planet, I believe. So for the novice path, which was September of 2021, I read, because for that one, you only had to read one book. So for the Mist of Solitude prompt, I read Tess of the D'Urbervilles, Tom Hardy. That book has trigger warnings, but it was great. Definitely recommend the read, but check out the trigger warnings first, please. And then to kind of pick my person, for the urban prompt, I read Actor Age Eve Brown. And then for the Earthling prompt, I read Dead Astronauts by Jeff Vandermeer. Definitely did not know it was the second book in the series when I read it, but it was still really fun to read. And then you choose and then sub-prompts beyond that. Once you do your kind of starter experience, you kind of figure out which house you are and the like magical school you're doing. So I ended up in the House of Arcane because I was able to do the Monocle of Vigilance, which I read Northanger Abbey, and the Crystal spot, which was left hand. I think the O Crystal was like my magical aid or something like that. I read Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, and I got a staff as a magical tool by reading Dune. So come spring equinox period, we're going to take a wine sip. Wine break. For the spring equinox, which was in April 2022, I took an artificery class, which was, I read Scattered All Over the Earth, and that's by Yoko Tawada. Sorry, I wasn't saying all the authors' names. I'm going to try and do that from here on out. And I took a psionics and divination class, for which I read Persepolis Rising. And I don't know if that's on my shelf or if I did that on audio, so I don't remember who the author is off the top of my head. I apologize for that. And then for the autumn equinox, which was August of 2022, took an astronomy class. And I got through all of the different levels in the astronomy class. That's what I was focusing on doing on my, when I went back and plopped all these in like 2 weeks ago. So I read, to get the L level or the O level, I got the Lessons for a Young Woman. For the Raven prompt, to hit the Q level, I read the Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. And cannot read with the prompt titles, I apologize for that. But for the D level prompt, I read Skyward and Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. So that brings us to this year-long readathon, because she's going to still, I think, do the times you go to class, but you get to have a choose your own adventure throughout the year, and you kind of follow the paths. It'll all be linked in the videos I link below from her. She does a great job, and she like is all into it. That's part of the reason I wanted to like do this even though I'm late to the party, clearly, tardy to the party, was because she gets so into it and it's so fun, and I need some encouragement to get through my very large unread physical TBR. So for the adventure in Aeldia in 2023, you start at like the top and you can either turn right or left. I turned right and finished a series for January, which I finished reading this series, which is the David Bond trilogy, I believe. So I read Empire of Gold. I don't physically own it or I'd hold it up, but this book series is awesome. It is a fantasy story that is based off of the folklore from Northern Africa, the Middle East, and some of like Southeast Asia. Not as much on the Southeast Asia, but definitely the Middle East and Northern Africa. We get a lot of the magic from the folklore of those areas, and that's not something I've seen before, and it was super awesome. And it's a beautiful, beautiful story, and there's politicking and drama and all of that stuff, and the magic is pretty unique. I haven't seen a lot of things like that. So that's what I read for January. As this video is not going up in February, I'm going to just tell you what I'm going to read for February. So from there, I was given a few different options, and I chose to go to the castle, which is to read a book with a building on the cover. So I'm going to read my other Christmas present, Babel, for February for this readathon. I will probably, the next time there's anything about this readathon, I'm not going to tell y'all I'm going to vlog because I always lie when I say that. But I'll try and kind of give updates throughout the year on the books I'm picking for the prompts and how I do in the monthly specific readathons, which I think are going to still be April and August or September. But yeah, I just wanted to catch up. Sorry if that was super aggressive and rapid fire, but everybody go check out the book roast and see if you can figure out if I set my my back, if I went back and set everything up correctly. But I'm excited to kind of actually participate more actively in it. Thank you for all the work you do, book roast, and that's all I got. Happy reading. Catch y'all next time.